reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. African dashiki, uncle around my neck, got his ISIS tatted on my belly, all about respect. I do it for the cause, I live for my queens, all my niggas kings, captain of my team. Life is just a dream, life ain't what it seems. You just a player in the game if you don't own the league. Hop on the magic carpet, fly with me to a whole new world that they call Elm Street. Stay away from haters, stay away from busters, because in Never Neverland ain't no room for these suckers. Stay away from haters, stay away from busters, because in Never Neverland ain't no room for these suckers. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock.
Oh my dear Mr. Williams. Information is power. If you don't have the information, one cannot seize power. You need to think about becoming mentally competitive. Being black does not free you from being a responsible individual.
Riverside the turf, we in another zone. So futuristic, welcome to the Thunderdome. Posted in the hood, the homie got the chrome. And if you niggas tripping, silver bullets getting blown. Chicken with real killers that'll kill you at your home. And if you niggas tripping, your body hitting the flow. Fuck the police is the code that I live by. Kill a pig, cook the swine, fuck the cop, I hope they die. Black man in America, I'm not supposed to shine. Living in this white man's world is a waste of time.
Black man in America, I'm not supposed to shine. Living in this white man's world is a waste of time.
They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. They say a nigga hot, they say I won't stop. And when I reach the top, I'ma scream thunder rock. Thunder rock, thunder rock, thunder rock.
Class, today we're taking a stylish little tour through the gut because chemistry and anatomy make an irresistible pair. These two winding powerhouses right here, the small intestine and the large intestine, decide what your body keeps and what it lets go. Your small intestine, about 20 feet of velvety tubing, breaks food. Class, today the star of the show is this, Takis. Spicy, crunchy, and absolutely loaded with red dye and saturated fat. When those roll through your system, they don't just party on your tongue. They slide into the small intestine and leave a residue of oil, dye, and fat. Veggies are more than just colorful snacks. This orange, for example, is a bundle of water, natural sugars, vitamins, and fiber. After you chew and swallow, enzymes in the stomach get the breakdown started. Then the party moves right here.
I am rewriting your DNA. You will never see the world the same again.
I can't breathe. I didn't ask for this. Anubis, why
Your
me?
grief seals the covenant. Rise, daughter of the jackal.
The hour is upon you.
I just...
Out. Time to finish this. Come on then. Back to the void. No ghost haunts my kingdom. Looks incredible. I can't. I don't like it anymore. I don't like meat anymore. Oh my god.
This mango tastes like sunlight after rain. The forest feeds its warriors well. Crunchy and sweet. These colors belong to kings and queens.
556 rotations around the sun, we've been kept under the spell, family. But tonight, on these stones our ancestors carved, the veil glitches. Look around you, this world is a hologram. 29,556 rotations around the sun, we've been kept under the spell, family. But tonight, on these stones our ancestors carved, the veil glitches. Look around you, this world is a hologram.
Children of the sun, Moors, native sons and daughters. On the stones of the Olmec we gather again. Look to the sky, the sun. Children of the sun, Moors, native sons and daughters. On the stones of the Olmec we gather again. Look to the sky.
Under my feet, but the stars of my vision. I crack open the gate, ancient with the new mission. Glyphs glow blue, let the time stream spin. I step through the circle land, the future pulls me in. They built a cage of light, a holographic. Under my feet, but the stars stars in my vision. I crack open the gate, ancient with the new mission glyphs, glow blue. Let the time stream spin. I step through the circle and the future pulls me in. They built a cage of light, a holographic under my feet, but the stars in my vision. I crack open the gate, ancient with the new mission glyphs, glow blue. Let the time stream spin. I step through the circle and the future pulls me in. They built a cage of light, a holographic.
People of Earth, I am Dr. Jason. I come from the future, and I am not of this world. I have returned to free my people, and yours. People of Earth, I am Dr. Jason. I come from the future, and I am not of this world. I have returned to free my people, and yours. People of Earth, I am Dr. Jason. I come from the future, and I am not of this world. I have returned to free my people. All aboard! It is time to hop aboard my spaceship, cause you are now tuned into what is the Matrix TV. I am your host, Dr. Jason Elm Street Williams. Dr. Jason E. Williams, EDD, Doctor of Education, live in effect. And I have my amazing Empress co-host, Empress El Anu.
Peace and love.
Peace goddess. What's good with you? Happy winter solstice, everyone.
Yeah, it's magical.
The sun's energy. Giving us energy, not the sun that you hear about in a book, but the sun in the sky that gives us music notes, songs, uploads, gifts from the universe. And you upload it into your avatar and you spread that wealth. Whatever download you receive, you spread it amongst your tribe and nation. So, Empress El Anu, as we start closing out the fictitious fiscal 2025, we are now closing not only with the return of Machiavelli the Don, Tupac, but now we see the fall of the devilish, satanic black women of Hollywood.
Ooh, that sounds very interesting, Dr. Jason. Whatever do you mean?
So right here, let's get into it. What do y'all think about Nicki Minaj? Nicki, we remember Nicki means another word for the devil, and Minaj, et toi. So this is the main female rapper who they use to introduce the bisexuality, the hooker, the whore. We know that Little Kim, Trina, and Adina Howard and them were coming, but Nicki Minaj was the face of the new female rapper. And she wasn't talking about upliftment. She wasn't Queen Latifah talking about don't call me a bitch. She was glorifying a satanic culture. And now, after talking about Jay-Z, talking about the Rock Nation, saying how her record deal is screwed, how the industry blackballed her, all of a sudden, she is rocking with the Republican Party and Charlie Kirk.
Wait, that's Nicki Minaj?
Is it?
That don't look like Nicki Minaj at all.
It doesn't.
No.
Because they might have whacked this sister. They actually might have already taken her out. Just like you see the Young Thug come out with the no tattoos, and now he's saying F the streets.
Yeah.
A lot of these artists throughout history get murdered and replaced with lookalikes. But go ahead, Empress.
No, that's the first thing when you were talking about Nicki Minaj. I'm like, who is this? Because that don't look like Nicki Minaj to me. It looked like somebody else. So what happened? And why are they? It's like her and Blueface and a couple of other actors. They don't look like themselves.
Interesting. We're going to get into it tonight, y'all.
So Nicki Minaj praises J.D. Vance as assassin as Erica Kurt sits next to her. Now, we do have to remember that the Republican Party was started by us as Murs and Moors and so-called black people, and the Democratic Party has done nothing for us as a people. So before we get on Nicki getting to the Republican side, we have to remember, before we get into Venus and everyone, we have to remember that Meg Thee Stallion was being used by Kamala Harris. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And she was talking about debauchery. You know, you talk about a society to where being a president and the presidential candidate is a circus act. This is clearly a circus act. You know, Megan Thee Stallion, that's up for debate if she's a man or a woman.
Okay, I was gonna ask you that. Isn't she like a man, and then she's over there twerking at a rally for? What is the world coming to, you guys? This did not exist in our world growing up. But go ahead.
Well, like we said, Kamala Harris, and she's not truly an African American.
No,
she's not what you would call black. She's truly an Indian, posing as an African American woman. So right off the bat, with that's a circus act. You know, how can anybody outside of the so-called black culture support such buffoonery? You know, so how are we, if the top people who represent so-called black people are Murs and Moors, indigenous people, the creators of civilization, are acting like fools? Muhammad Ali, I believe, once said, you know that the world is in trouble, basically, I'm paraphrasing, when your leaders are entertainers.
Mm-hmm.
So for black people, the leaders are entertainers, clowns. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and this type of behavior is what you see little kids on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. You see them actually imitating this, and they'll be like 6 years old, having parties, playing these types of artists, dancing like them and dressing like them, putting wigs in their hair. It's crazy. Like, I never seen that before. At a what is it? At a
pep, we say pep rally, but what is? I forget the word, y'all. Is it presidential rally? So right there, as we start the show, this is what 2025 is ending on for our culture. We see that they're building robots. They've done SpaceX. We've talked about everything this year on What is the Matrix TV. So this is a precursor to what 2026 is coming into for the so-called black community. But us tonight in this show, creating solutions again to once again bring awareness to the circus act, so you don't come into 2026 believing this is real, believing this is who we are as a people. Black people are a manufactured race at this point. They're no longer, that's why black, it's not a nationality. So now you could see that labeling yourself as black people, you're able now to be programmed of what and who you are, versus, let's say, Washita, Choctaw, Mer, Moor, all these ancient words that we can trace back to Atlantis, Lemuria, science, geometry for a fact, and live in those worlds and culture, versus this buffoonery. So what do you feel, Lana, when you see Nicki Minaj sitting down with the same person and group of people that talk bad about her? Charlie Kirk once said Nicki Minaj is not a good role model. So is it that, let's say she's not replaced, so we could play on that tonight. This could be the clone of Nicki Minaj, meaning the look-alike replacement after she started running her mouth, and now all of a sudden she's being used as a political puppet. What is your opinion on Black women in Hollywood today, Lana? This is what I wanted to get to.
Well, she to me has never been a great role model. So obviously they're using her, the fake her, because this is not Nicki Minaj. And we have to use discernment during these times because obviously we know this is not Nicki Minaj. Why are they using this particular person as a plot to speak? What is it? I don't know what's going on. I don't pay attention to what's going on in the world today. But you're saying that the same, okay, so whatever his name is, Charlie Kirk was assassin, but he talked bad about her. And now she's saying something positive about him. So they're using her. For whatever reason, they're using her. You know what I mean? For whatever they have in the works right now. I don't know what they got going on, but they have to use our indigenous women, or they have to use Black women as bait.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's obviously an agenda that they have, and they're using Black women as bait. And that's unusual because me growing up, I never, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with white people, but I'm just saying like that never was a desire for me to say, ooh, I can't wait to get me a white man. Like I never, even my friends, it wasn't even a desire. We never had that. They're using Black women to try and get younger girls and women my age, because we're at the point now where, you know, we're over it. We don't want to be with Black men anymore. We don't like the way y'all treat us. So they're like, okay, let's use Black women that are high in this industry, that are examples, and we're going to have them marry a white man so that it can become, eventually it can become a thing where, you know, girls my daughter's age say, I want a white man. I don't even want to think about being with a Black man.
There you go. You just hit it on point. And that's how you can recognize, like, people are seeing the simulation, y'all. The Matrix. We're able to decode the Matrix program by them, like Empress El says, putting new applications of thought, ideas into your mind through suggestions, manipulating you to make young, impressionable Black women and Black girls feel that Black men ain't shit, that they don't need Black men to be happy. Why? Because the so-called white man gives Black women jobs more than Black men. Therefore, the majority of Black women in America subconsciously, they in reality work for white men or non-Black men for the most part. Therefore, if the majority of Black women in America worship Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, they worship a white man. Their God is a white man, whether they want to admit it or not. And if their boss is a white man, and now the Black woman has a job and makes enough money in the material world, the so-called devil's world, this is where we get the saying of Black woman, the modern day Black woman, to say she doesn't need a man. She doesn't need a Black man. Black men ain't shit. That's social engineering. That's years of programming from welfare, crack, religion, all the education system. It doesn't stop Hollywood media. And then we start seeing the prototype of these men. A lot of them Jewish, a lot of wealth. Mm-hmm. So now they're tricking Black women to say, once again, materialism. We know that you're going to weaken your genes. We know that your kids aren't going to come out looking like you. And also, we understand the war tactic of pale-skinned European men having babies with Moorish indigenous women in times like this, because in the past, how they stole our land was raping our women or having sex and babies with our women. That's how they were able to steal the land, because the ties to us as indigenous cultures came through our women. Just like the story of Pocahontas, to where when she had the baby, by the so-called European, that baby is now half European, half indigenous, and that European family now is mixed into the land, and this is where we are, where you see pale skinned $5 Indians. Same thing what happened down south when the Slavic slaves and the indentured servants and pale skinned Europeans came to America, and they created a mixed class. Some would say now the Creole as well, even though that's an argument. But basically, the light skinned mixed kids were put over the dark skin, and this is what's happening in Hollywood. They're creating the homosexual kids of Hollywood that are going to be in charge, and then the mixed kids over them that are going to be basically your fake new royal family. They want you to believe that the royal family and the noble families are the Hollywood stars, which are really all members of the Temple of Satan. This is why you see Serena Williams promoting Imposec, or what is the thing where they shoot in their arm for weight loss?
I don't know. I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it.
Imposec, or whatever it's called. Why is Serena? I believe that's not Serena Williams either. Why would one of the greatest athletes of all time promote basically it's like a steroid? It's cheating, it's death. And so as athletic as she is, that's insanity. And Venus Williams, last episode we were talking about the Williams. The Williams are the Moorish Washita. Williams linked to the noble families of Europe and the noble families of America. And then Venus, we learn about Venus, the pyramids in the Americas, especially in Mexico, were dedicated to the planet Venus. Hence the term men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And she's from Compton, Camptown. So once again, Compton comes into play. So here we are, Los Angeles County, where we find Prince William coming in and taking a Moorish wife. Andrea Preti, someone go look up who he is. It sounds Italian, but it might be Jewish. I'm not sure. So go ahead, Lana. I know I was running my mouth as we start getting into it. And even with Nicki Minaj, her husband is a registered pedophile, sex offender. Yes. So once Nicki Minaj's husband's a registered sex offender pedophile. It's a fact. You can look it up. So she married a pedophile knowing this, and he's a known Queens or Brooklyn, whatever, gangbanger, gangster. And so when they put that on her, I say, yeah, that's not going to end good. So I either thought it was going to be him that would make her fall, but after her doing the thing with Charlie Kirk, she's done. She's cooked. She's cooked in the black community. And so that's Drake, the Draconian, the mixed Draconian. He fell last year to Kendrick from Compton. Serena was crit walking at the halftime show. That was Compton. And now Venus marries a troglodyte. So right now you're witnessing what they, like Lana, Empress El Anu said, you're witnessing the programming of the new so-called black woman in America, to where she raises homosexual men, are gangbangers, are lesbians. So that's basically death. No procreation. Yeah, they're slaves. Yes.
So it's designed to make, because they know that we look up to these celebrities that are in the spotlight. So if they're doing it, then that's the new trend. So if Venus and Serena have white husbands, or let's say one of those little twin actresses that grew up.
We got a picture of her. That's a shame.
They have
there
white
she
husbands.
There she is.
Yeah, they have white husbands. So it's this trend. So it's like, let me go get a weave. You know what I'm saying? Some fake lashes and a white husband.
Look at Cameron Hall.
Be fake and phony, and not even be real, and don't even know who I am, and forget about studying my who.
Cameron Hall,
Forget
the
about
new
studying
Oprah Winfrey.
my culture. Yeah, I'm not going to study my culture. I'm going to study someone else's, and then I'm going to marry someone that's outside of my culture, so I can really forget who I am. And that is definitely done by design. Heaven forbid I know who I am. I know that I'm a empress, a goddess, a creator, an alchemist, the original, the OG. You feel me? Forget all that. Let me go all the way backwards outside of who I am. And that's exactly the trick. That is insanity. And we're going to start to see all this, but this is part of the fall. So we're going to start to see, you know what I mean? Like people for who they are and things for who they are. In actuality, we're not going to see what we are going to see for where we are. Because if you can't see that Nicki Minaj is fake, that does not look like her at all. That blue face does not look like Blueface.
Let's go to Blueface.
What's his name? What's his name? The Kim Kardashian's ex-husband. What's his name again? Kanye. That does not look like Kanye West.
So are they taking out artists? Because we like we said, we were looking at Young Thug. He came out looking different. Lil Wayne came out looking different. Gucci Man came out looking different.
Oh yeah.
Blueface came out looking different. Boosie, he still looked the same, but he looked a little different. Dave Chappelle, they said, came back looking completely different.
He did. He even walks different.
All these people come back looking different, possibly because they did get taken out and they get replaced. As simple as that. I remember hearing about Lil Wayne dying multiple times. I remember TMZ reporting it multiple times he died. Same with Rick Ross. Rick Ross don't look like the original Rick Ross. They said he died from a seizure a long time ago. And what happens when a lot of these artists do die or overdose or they take out, let's say an artist does overdose and die, they're not going to stop the machine. And then there's some artists who they allow to say, fuck it, I'm done. And they'll find a lookalike. And a lot of the times they'll do a double. Akon will even tell you when he first started, his brother used to go on tour overseas for him because they look the same. And we also know about the Donald Trump clone. But when it comes to Christian rock 2025, once again, the crash out dummy, the black woman, the number one black woman in America, more popular than Michelle Obama.
Wow.
Christian, Christ, and always talking about God. Do you guys always notice the celebrities? They're all Christians. They're all Christians.
But look how she treats Christianity. It's like 1 minute she's so into God and the next minute she's so not. And then on top of that, it's like right after she has a baby. It's like a typical narrative. Had a baby. Daddy left me. Don't get me started.
Went to prison.
Daddy left me. Went to prison. He came out all tatted up.
Right. And girls like that.
That is so horrible.
Black girls like that.
And he has multiple baby mamas.
And they're loving it. They're loving it. He's bragging about it. Keep going.
And that's just not the way. That's not it. That's not the example. You know, the interview, I watched the interview that Blueface did with Shannon Sharp. That was by far the worst interview ever. Like ever.
Tell us about it.
Horrible. He's talking about, Blueface is sitting over here talking about his mama. I get it. A lot of which in my opinion, it was a good thing because it said it defines what men need to do, and that's they do need to heal from their mamas, because some kid like him who has mama issues, it shows what happens when they have mommy issues. They pick horrible women, they make horrible decisions with the women that they're with, having babies, leaving the women with the babies, and making the comment to Shannon Sharp saying, well, the babies are at home with their mom, so I'll just wait till they get older and then I'll fuck with them. And then it's like, yeah. And then he tells him towards the end of the interview, he's just like, I don't know what I would do without my dick. What would you do, Shannon, if you didn't have your dick? What? Yeah, like this is what our daughters grow up to. Blueface, that ain't it. I see you being real, but you're also a role model. So you got youngsters looking at you thinking that's funny that you got multiple baby mamas and the only thing that matters for you is your dick. So that's why I say the men need to be role models for the youngsters like that, where you think it's cool to go inside a prison, get a bunch of tattoos, which again, I don't think that's really him, but that's what they're using to depict this.
Cool
I don't know
West Coast image. Like when I was in Atlanta, they were like, Elm Street, you'll blow up in Atlanta because they're not going to let you blow up in California. They want the gangster stuff too much. I'm like, and it's true. It's a program, because something about Compton, and I say Riverside too, they don't want the world to receive. They don't want the world to receive the real hood information. What the real hood was is the occult magic coming out of Compton, Riverside, Southern California. They want everyone to think that the image of the black man is the manufactured what we see today, like Empress El Anu is pointing out. So we're dealing with a new generation that Lana didn't experience, I didn't experience, our mothers, our grandfathers. So imagine what the future for black people in 10 years is, y'all. Because the kids that are 15 are going to be 20 and 21. We're beyond a state of emergency. This has to stop. This is beyond satanic. It's a shame that Shannon Sharp I see the actresses parading this brother around. This dude done shot at somebody in Las Vegas on camera. A normal person would be locked up for attempted murder for years, and this brother's out. They let these black men out who are gangbangers, thugs, and rappers because they have influence over our people. And this is what's happened.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and he's on the Zeus network.
The Devil's Network.
Zeus network. That's what he's on. So of course he's going to depict this type of low life lifestyle where I got a bunch of baby mamas. I don't take care of them. You know, it's about my dick. You know, I'm a crook. I lied. What did he say? I lied through everything. I'm a crook. Like I'm not honest. He said it straight up. That's what women want. That's what no, that's not it. Because you see what happens. You find someone like him. They're showing you what's going to happen. Ladies, you're going to be left here, single mother. Wow. Now you got to either run to Jesus or you got to run to the county.
There it is. And that's
it.
with Zeus. So Zeus, the original Zeus, of course, is Osiris and Asar and brothers. Watch the movie No Holds Barred with Debo. He played Debo, but it's Tiny Liston from Compton. Debo's from Compton. Once again, Compton, always in the house. And so he used to come to Granddaddy's liquor store. That's how we knew him. But he played Zeus in No Holds Barred. He was a brother. So they reverse it, exactly what Empress El Anu is saying. It's a network portraying the reverse of who we are, the lowest form of debauchery of who we are. But I didn't think of that. It's also, if you have a keen eye, like the sister pointed out, it's teaching you women and men this is class. We're watching history unfold. This is a class of how you program a people. We're watching it again. Just like our parents talk about crack and we're just products. We might not have seen it all. This is it. This is digital crack. This is what happens with social media, AI. Imagine the next step of what they're going to do with social media and AI. If they've done this, women with tats on their face like this, all these girls with tattoos all over them now. So what's the future? Right. So now we know that the so-called black woman's been, not the Moorish woman, the black woman has been destroyed. Who is going to be the teacher? The robot. Because clearly social media and the TV and rap and Hollywood has been the teacher for our people. So next is the robot, AI, the cyborg. Hence is why we have to have our own virtual reality companies, our own facilities for our own robots to compete. We are experiencing a war, a full-on invisible onslaught of our people, the slaughtering and murdering of the minds of our people. The Indian Wars never ceased. The what was it called? The conquest, I don't want to say conquistadors, the expelling of the Moors, but there's a word for it, the Inquisition. So the Indian Wars never stopped. The Inquisition never stopped. Slavery never ended. It never ended. Now it's the mind and in physical bondage as well, because there's more black men in prison than in college. When you go watch the college football games this holiday season, I want everyone to look who's playing on the field and look at the student body. They're all pale-skinned Europeans who are going to be the owners of these networks, the lawyers, the judges, the teachers, the FBI, the CIA, the rulers over you niggas. This is why it's time to separate from this society. People, it doesn't matter what, let's say, color you are, it's the mind state. But if our people have clearly accepted this lifestyle, if our people clearly, and it's the woman, because the woman is the first teacher. So if she's giving birth, first, if she's having sex and giving birth from a idiot, you're gonna birth an idiot. So like Empress El Anu was saying, they're birthing slaves. The troglodyte, the so-called white man, or the, let's say the government, they don't fear a homosexual black man. They don't fear that. That's not a something that will destroy their society. They want that, and much love to all people. But we're talking about survival as a species at this point. And people say, oh, we never died. Look at our people. I state this fact before I pass the mic. Out of 170 million men in this country, in the United States, approximately 1,000 to 1,600 so-called black men have their EDD, doctorate in education. You know, it's less than 1%. We have less than 1% and 5% of businesses in this country. It's failure. The God that black people follow has failed them. Jesus Christ has failed black people. It's really, I'll say it again. Jesus Christ has failed black people. God has failed black people. And if people continue to follow these words and spells, it'll continue to control your imagination and allow a group of people who you will never meet to control you. And this is what happens. And so we have, go ahead.
No, I said you'll get sick because you'll be chasing a tail. You'll get mentally ill. That's how you get mentally ill, is chasing after a deity that doesn't exist.
Well, it exists now.
Yeah.
Because like you said, Zeus. So the black woman's leader is no longer hers, and she believes in God and believes in Jesus, but rejects the Bible when it says that you're supposed to be your man's support system. She no longer rocks with that. She no longer believes in that system. She's running to her Lord and Savior, which they trained her subconsciously, which is the so-called pale-skinned European. And that's the end of a race right there. It's the end, because when they can manipulate the mother and the woman to reject the father, like we see here, she's rejecting her God. She's rejecting her father. And so now the bloodline of the Williams, of that lineage, is now tainted. which in certain cases they would say cursed, because that bloodline is no longer going to be attached to the indigenous ancestors. So he now has to deal with his daughters and mixed children. So it starts getting into blood magic, y'all. It really does. So when you have basically mixed children, you're not going to be able to travel as far now intergalactically because they're mixed. They don't have your pure blood in that essence. It's now diluted. So when you don't mix in with indigenous people, that code is mixed up. Hence why a lot of mixed children who have mixed parents, they're literally mixed up because their genes are pulling them one way. And sometimes they're not accepted by either or. And this is what they're doing. They're creating a new reality for the mixed kids. Once again, to rule over. They're going to be under. They're not. The mixed kids aren't going to be over the father's bloodline. They're going to be underneath, but they'll be above Serena's indigenous bloodline. And maybe they'll get benefits in that fake fictitious matrix that they're going to live out. But once again, there's punishment for that, because once again, I teach if you die, so-called die, we never die. For me, we're in the duat. This is the land of the living dead. When we so-called die, that's when we start living. That's why it's imperative for us to be Mayan, the principles that our ancestors left for us to go by, to not get lost in this matrix hologram in this material world. So I know I was rambling. So basically in the future, if the kids are mixed, if they're being taught by robots, AI, and holograms, if the real masculine, so-called more masculine black man with knowledge of self no longer exists, you're now dealing with a new race of people. They're no longer the black people from the 80s, 70s, and 60s isn't the kids being birthed in 2015. So we're basically witnessing the destruction of the so-called black, even though there's no such thing as the black race. That term black race, it's being ended, and it's being turned into something new. That's why I say it's imperative for us to know our Moorish heritage, indigenous heritage, and cultures, because right now they're basically putting in a new storyline. They're creating a new storyline for the new world order, new world agenda. And so as this skips, go ahead, Lana. I wanted to give the emphasis on why they're doing this. It's because the bloodline is carried by the woman. So once again, if they mix in with our Moorish women, they know what's going on. So now they can steal the land again. It's a land grab. It's a soul snatch, because the Moorish woman takes us to infinite heights. So we really, as a collective, only mentally go as far as the so-called black woman mentally goes. So if she's in debauchery, that's what that'll be. But when she's in her highest essence, we're unstoppable. We're the wealthiest people on the planet. Go ahead.
No, I'm listening. Listening to everything you're saying. So it sounds like, though, because we were taught that the father was the one that carried the bloodline, right? So it was like, correct. Oh, that's my, I go by my dad and where he's from, but that's the trick. It's the other way around.
Yes, because you can't. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, because you can't what?
Well, you guys, people will deny that. They'll say, oh, that's not true. Well, no, it makes sense. You can argue who the dad is. You can find out 20 years from now, man, that wasn't your dad. It happens all the time, to where a woman lies and the kid is fathered by someone else. But what you can't mix up is who the mom was. And that's why we
carried you.
Yeah, and you can't argue who your mom was unless they mix you up at birth and all that stuff. So that's why it's carried through the woman, and the woman brings us into this matrix. So the question would go, who created the woman? Where does she come from? Who created her?
Yeah,
If she, go ahead.
I was gonna say, because when you look in the Bible, because we were told that woman came from
The rib.
woman came from the rib, right?
Excellent.
But when you read the Bible, and I was just thinking this, funny that you're saying that, I was just thinking this before the podcast, and I was just like, I remember during my awakening moment, I heard a voice say, go pick up your Bible and read Genesis. And my daughter and I were both reading it because she's in a Christian private school. And it was like, let us create them. And I'm like, dude, I was like, who is us and them? Like, what are they talking about? And you would ask a Christian that, and they're just like, they would give you this answer that makes no sense. And it's just like, no, there was more. So who created the woman, or was she already here first and then created the man?
Well, here we go. They call it this right here. The XY chromosome.
Yeah.
The woman is the X. And what is a Y? The Y is broken off X.
So that means it's missing some information.
Yes. Correct. That's why they have to deify. That's why they do the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. That's homosexual religions. That's Judaism. You know, even though we can go into Jerusalem and all the sun, it's really about sun, but how they broke it down, they had to eliminate the goddess principle, basically. This is why they're giving us the satanic version of a black female devil, basically a she devil that doesn't even know who she is, worshiping Jesus, worshiping a white man, worshiping something outside of herself that created every single human being. Every single human being comes up out of the Moorish so-called black woman. Therefore, she is the most intelligent being on the planet as far as humans go. She has everyone inside her. And so if you can strip our mothers, our sisters from ever thinking that she came first, like Boys in the Hood, when I saw that movie, that scene changed my life. Because when she said, how do you know that God isn't a she? Or how do you know God is a he? He could be a she. And then Ice Cube was like, oh, there ain't no bitch. It'd be wars and bombs. And in my head, I was like, well, there are wars and bombs. And she, Regina King, ended up playing in an HBO series called Watchmen. And her husband was a superhero. And I think she ended up being a divine goddess. So right then, in that movie, Boys in the Hood, it was subliminally teaching you that the so-called Moorish woman, the black woman, is what they would call the goddess or God or the creatress of civilization. What we would call the botch that goes from the anus to the balls is a closed vagina. Mm-hmm. So she is worshipped before the male deity. All throughout the ancient world, when I studied world religions in college, for me, I figured it out from my universe. I said, damn, women were worshipped before men.
Yeah.
And then before women were worshipped, we worship nature, the planets, the stars, and then the animals, all these things. But really, Go ahead.
Okay, so check this out. I remember I lived in Orange County, right? Laguna Beach. I worked at Nordstrom. I was like in my 20s, and I didn't really I didn't feel comfortable around white people. I never really did. Laguna Niguel is full of Middle Eastern people, white people, whatever. So for 6 months I was out there, and I just didn't talk to anyone because I didn't feel comfortable. Anywho, someone asked me one day that I worked with if I wanted to come with them. They invited me to this party, and it was I think it was called the Black White House. So it was just like this club, and it was full of models. They had Calvin Klein models there, and they were, they probably went both ways. Anyways, they were really pretty. They were models. I'm in there, and I'm the only quote unquote black girl, right? Do you know they were literally worshiping me? These Calvin Klein models were taking pictures with me. They were like they were literally like bowing to me, right? And I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. Now, mind you, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know that I was a goddess. I thought these people just really like me, but they were taking pictures with me. That's because they knew who I was. And so if we go to other countries, that's exactly how they'll treat us. They know that we are the original god or goddesses, but we're asleep. So we don't know that. Hence the reason something like that takes place. If you go someplace, you'll be like, oh my God, why are these people like literally worshiping me? It's because they know that we are the original goddesses. We are asleep. And therefore, when we get that treatment, we might think it's weird or uncomfortable. But yeah, and I remember going home telling my mom, I was like, oh my God, they were like, I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted my autograph. You know what I mean? The way they were treating me. And I'm like, these are models, Calvin Klein models worshiping me. So we gotta like learn self. Hence the reason I make those videos that I make, because we have to go back to the root, remembering like instead of living outside of ourselves, we have to go within and start talking to start healing ourselves. Talk to your organs, talk to your body parts, because then that will help heal, the lie and the spell that we're under. It'll help you remember and you wake up. And at that point, ladies, when we activate our true godhood, our goddess energy, it's a wrap. It's nothing they can do. Like, that's why we're seeing all of these fake actors and actresses, and we're seeing weird things take place right now because the illusion it's done. And so can you imagine if the illusion of what you thought was real isn't really real, is starting to collapse in front of your eyes? Imagine if you're still under a sleep spell. Eventually you're going to see it for what it is. And that's going to be scary. So it'd be best if we start the healing process now, especially when it comes to brothers and sisters. Like men, our indigenous men and women have to heal. It can't always be where the man is blaming the woman and the woman is blaming the man. Like, we'll never get anywhere like that. But if we all take accountability for our own actions and what we've done, then that's when the healing process starts. So when we see what they're doing, they're using, how they're using these celebrities to try to convince us that the way to go is, let me just get a white husband. Let me just marry a white man, because these brothers that did nothing but wrong to me. So we think going in a different direction is going to be helpful, but in actuality, you got to heal yourself before you try to blame another person or another nationality for what you've gone through.
I agree. And as we start moving forward, look at these. Look at all your famous actresses and actors who you see every day on film. These are the top ones now. I think I forgot even Eve was in one of these pictures. Kerry Washington, the two top light-skinned sisters, Zoe and whatever. She's in Westworld. She's a superhero. And then we have the list of famous white women who married to black men. And then famous white men who married black women. You can check that out. So you even see the Kardashians. I felt that the Kardashians used that as a power move. And then as you clearly see what happens to the brothers who deal with them. So once again, they put these people on the brothers and take their money and destroy them historically. And then Madonna, I wanted to talk about how the adoption with so-called pale-skinned Europeans adopting black babies, which is much love because we need love in the world. I have friends who are adopted by white folks and they love them, and then some were abused. But what happens if Black families were adopting white kids and teaching them our culture. I see it happen a few times, but overall it doesn't happen like that. But when we see a lot of the time so-called white families adopt Black kids, they're turning the kids into girls. I see a lot of self-hate, but also with Madonna, I was asking Empress El Anu, was Madonna used for Nicki Minaj? Was she the first raunchy pop artist that went global? And was that like a sacrilegious thing? A blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl who is flipped because the original Madonna is a Moorish woman, a so-called the Black Madonna. And so with that, did they once again put a spell over humanity who heard her as looking as Madonna as a white woman instead of Madonna as a sacred Moorish woman who is the mother to all of humanity to be worshipped? Because even like a virgin, I believe they showed a Black Madonna. And then like a prayer, the actor Leon basically played Jesus. So she deals with brothers. So that can also be a subconscious, not subconscious thing, but a subliminal thing. How she used to mess with Tupac, letting the white woman know, like, still, I'm Madonna, who represents the top white woman in music, because that's what it is. The top woman would be an artist. And she deals with brothers, and she adopted Black boys, letting you know that the Black man is God, but still she does her contortions because she's still under Hollywood. And there you go, Eve. You see Eve, she went and he's a mega billionaire. And then Chris Paul, he married into some money. And then again with Adele. And then Seal, that was something that I thought was crazy, but Heidi Klum had her bread.
Right. All
And
about
then,
the money.
right. And then so I was looking at the Mayan context in the Codex, and it reminded me of the girl from Love and Hip Hop, Sakana, Sukiana. But I wanted to show the Neanderthals, the origins of the Caucasians. They had to mix in with us to look the way they do. So when you travel to Europe and you see Europeans who clearly have no indigenous blood in them, they look different, don't they? And that's because a lot of the Europeans are so-called Americans have Indian blood in them, so-called Moorish blood in them, Chinese blood in them. So they're mixed in with us. They no longer look how they looked a few hundred years ago. So they're able to manipulate us to think that they're not the same people that naturally lack melanin to process the sun and nature, which we call netter, our gods and deities, which is knowledge and information, in our avatar, which we call our human bodies, to process the information fast enough to create civilization. So they have to come around us and trick us by not teaching us who we are, but we shouldn't rely on the Neanderthals to teach us. They shouldn't even be on our land. So the fact that parents of today in 2026, the fact that it's a reality that so-called Black people send their children to a Neanderthal school to be taught that they're Black, to be taught that they're slaves. And what has been the outcome since 1954, Brown versus Board of Education? Failure. Black people have nothing. They are failures. It is a failure. Integration has failed Black people, and it has failed the world. That's why there's no innovation in the world, because our people's minds are enslaved by Neanderthals, a group of people who lack melanin. So with that, that means that they're not able to process the sun. which gives us knowledge and information for free. So they have to be around us as vampires. And if we knew who they were and are, we wouldn't be around them, and our woman would not mix with them. Our woman would not have sex with them. And that's the whole point, is that the so-called Neanderthal knows that he dies off through sex. So if he can trick the world to make the world think that the Moor or the so-called black man is the devil, that he's wicked, he's a liar, he's a gangbanger, he's a thug, he's miseducated, and that the so-called Moorish woman, the creatress of civilization, the Maya, the mother of all, that she's a hooker, she's a single mother, she worships Jesus Christ as her Lord and Savior, she's abandoned her God, which is her son. That's her God, her protection is her son. So the so-called black woman, your God, the black woman's God is the black man. And the black man, your God is the black woman. And together, you create civilization. You name the sun, you name the stars, you name the moon, you name the animals. Hence why in the so-called Bible, like Empress Elanu said, it said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Who is in the garden with this Yahweh? They don't teach you that in the church. Because if they taught you that in the church, you would no longer go to the church, and you would no longer believe in their Bible, and you would break free from the spell and understand who you are as a people, as the wealthiest people on the planet. They practice algebra today. We created mathematics. All the inventions come from us. So you're being tricked to believe in a fictitious reality that doesn't exist. Because if these buildings come crumbling down, only the pyramids and temples still stand that you built. You are the gods of antiquity. You are the titans. You come before God. How about that? You created God in your image, after your likeness. So now it's time for us to reclaim that authority of our minds and create our own deities again. So my deities in the flesh would be my sisters, my wife, our wives, but my wife, and she'll be my advisor. And I'll use her imagination to help me build. That's why we form our tribes and nations, scientists, mathematicians, every aspect of society we build on the land, farmers, security, doctors, people, we say lawyers, but people who can have the law and structure, organization. The land is here. Everything we need is here, but we need our minds cleared. And that's what they do with 2025 and 2026 in the Matrix. They literally mentally program you every year from the holidays. So after New Year's, it's the same thing over and over again until you die. So what they do is they trick you into thinking this is the real world, and it's not. You're in a dream world, a nightmare. This is why they give you time. This is why they give you days, months, holidays, holy days. They give you gods and deities, religion, these fake artists to trap you in the dream world, the material world. So if you happen to think you die in this dream and believe it, you get trapped here. And that's where and that's where they control your imagination in the afterlife. Because if they can control your thoughts of what happens when you die, then they can control what happens when you do so-called pass. And that's how they control the realm and trap souls here. And that's what they're doing. They trap your soul here in the American dream. Hence the American dream. It's a dream. And that's why our ancestors, they taught us in school that the ancient Cometians, Egyptians, were focused on death, which really meant life, because this is all an initiation process on how high you go. So basically, this is basically a graduation. You're preparing to graduate. But if you can get trapped here and not even know you're actually in school right now, hell, you're in school. So you have to learn and you have to ascend to get up out of the matrix maze, hologram, or you'll get trapped in the material realm, which is ruled by Yahweh, the God of Judaism, the God of the Bible.
Hold on. The traps you're referring to is what leads to depression. So a lot of folks that are depressed, that's why, because if you live your life knowing that you're living in a loop, it's going in a circle, and you're like, there's got to be more to life than this, right? You know there's got to be more, but you're still living the loop. That's how you become depressed, because you're not living your purpose, and your body knows that you're supposed to be living a specific purpose because you signed a contract before you came here. And a lot of us, like you said, got lost in the matrix, and then you get lost believing the lies that you're supposed to work for someone else, make that person's money, come home, give your hard-earned money back to these businesses that are part of the matrix itself. So you're going in this circle, but you know that life is more, there's more to it than this. But if you don't break out of the loop, that's where depression comes in. That's why a lot of people are depressed right now, because they know something else is supposed to be, but they're not living that life. And watching these celebrities is going to help you stay in that loop. Looking up to your Cardi B's and your Megan Thee Stallions and your Sexy Reds is going to keep you in a low vibrating state. And that's where the mental illness, the illness starts to come into play even more. So you got to go against the grain and not continuously. You got to do something different. That's what a voice told me like years ago. It said, try something different. If what you're doing isn't working, try something different. And so trying something different is painful, because when you're used to doing something the same every day, you get into a, you know, just naturally part of your everyday. But when you have to try something different, you go backwards and you have to go against the grain. You know what I mean? It's like you're getting to the root of the problem so that you can fix the problem, but so you ability to it or keep repeating the same thing.
It's insanity.
You're gonna, it's insanity.
That's what we're doing. And that's what it is. That's literally the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing, getting the same results. We failed. I shouldn't say we, but yeah, so-called Black people. That's a label. Don't take it personal. We're indigenous. We're Moors. We're Moors. We're Atlanteans. We're air. We're fire. We're knowledge. We're ether. So right here, as we go into
who is this?
This is Lauren London, y'all. I wanted to point it out. So once again, they're programming the young Black girls in these movies. Because how many movies have you seen a fat, ugly Black dude having sex with a bomb top white actress? When have you seen a Taylor Swift kissing a Black dude? When do you see any of Carrie Underwood's, Dolly Parton's? You don't.
And again, no disrespect to any race, because I actually love everyone. I'm just keeping it 100. I don't remember as a little girl ever desiring to be with a white man. I don't remember my homegirls even desire. I had white homegirls that wanted to be with Black dudes. Like, okay.
And I have friends who have mixed children, and that's all love. We're talking about programming of society. So if you get offended, you shouldn't, because you already know what time it is. If love is love, that's you. But with this Hollywood, she even said that it was a CGI kiss. Regardless, if you as an actress know that it's CGI, the other people watching don't. So this came right after the murder of You know who? Nipsey Hussle. Here we go. Blood sacrifice detective found. So Lauren London and P. Diddy, like they say allegedly, they're connected. So right there, you see the play on Nipsey Hussle's estate. They get to you through the woman or the drugs. And here we are. Nipsey said he wanted his last album on Atlantic to sound like B.I.G.'s Life After Death. And that's exactly what P. Diddy did. He gave him that sound and made it to where no one could ever hear it again because you had to die. So they set up Nipsey, the industry, by putting Lauren London on him. An industry girl right there who was getting dicked down the whole time by Diddy. She literally was in the court case. Diddy's ex-assistant Capricorn Clark testified that Cassie's friend and actress Lauren London was around in the freak-offs. And if you were watching the Nipsey Hussle documentary with P. Diddy, when they were in the studio, P. Diddy told him to shut up or not to clap. He said, nigga, don't clap. I remember that and I was like, whoa, what is this? And then when he went to Lauren London and Cat, I said, he's fucking both of them. They're playing him. And I said, oh, they're about to kill this brother. I said, he don't see the play. And that's why I was like, brother, you gotta stop talking about the Matrix. Or if you say Blue Pill, you better say my nigga Elm Street and Riverside be talking about the Matrix. Black man ain't got a platform, but he swoop-de-woo to explain it. He be pulling up at John Nails in his spaceship. You should have said that. Because I was the one delivering all the Dr. Sebi CDs and spaceships and pyramids. Niggas thought I was crazy. I was telling people the plays a long time ago. I told people about Drake. Told people about the Tiger stealing my young Pharaoh. All that Nicki talking about Elm Street is going down. Basement, Friday the 13th. Guess who's playing Jason? Nightmare on Freddy's, Nightmare on Elm Street. Who do you think she's talking about? Who do you think was There's only one Elm Street in the industry, and Jason, that's I. I didn't sell my soul, so I was around. I was there. So when you see the play of P. Diddy and Lauren London and Cassie, now do your research. Who just got awarded Nipsey Hussle's estate? Lauren London.
Lauren London.
Boom.
No. He's really rocking the new shit now.
And his brother got the burger joint. Feeding to the people. So you see the play. Everyone was linked in. And that's why you saw the Staple Arena do that so quick. The parade so quick. If Snoop had died like that, would they have done a parade that quick?
Because that was a quick parade. It was popping too.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. It was orchestrated.
Wow.
That parade was orchestrated. You know, darn much love, but he wasn't that big for that type of reaction. So when I saw that, I was happy that a brother was getting love, but at the same time, I said, oh, I know what this is.
And his mom was never like emotional. I remember when I watched it because I was crying when I saw I was like, why am I so connected to this man? I never like knew Nipsey Hussle like that. But yeah, his funeral made me cry. But his mom was not emotional at all. You know, she was like, I already know what it is. He told me before he was gonna die. And I was like, damn, she's handling this really well. Yeah.
Because she knew.
Yeah.
She said she knew. So she wasn't probably supposed to say that. She was giving a hint. Because they said there wasn't a lot of blood, even though people say, oh, all the time, there's not a lot of blood. Okay. In the video, they showed 2 shooters. The girl wasn't locked up. Anytime someone's accessory to a murder, that person gets locked up. The whole setup was You clearly see that. And then Lauren London with her glasses on during the funeral,
Right.
all that was Hollywood, y'all. And they put a spell over LA. They put a spell over hip hop, and that was also done to destroy hip hop. All these murders, you think this is a coincidence that all these murders are occurring? Tupac might have faked his death at this point. Because I've seen documentaries where the stand-in, why they're still making money off of the Tupac death and Biggie death. We weren't around. So clearly this is all a freaking script, y'all. To occupy our minds on bullshit that is not infinite. You cannot take any of this Hollywood, TMZ, Shannon Sharp, ESPN hogwash with you to the ethers. So imagine how many people are wasting their essence time instead of developing. And then there's so much bickering going on to where it's no unity. Meanwhile, every other race on the planet, so-called race, is innovating the best way they can and taking off. Black people still want to play games. So you guys right here, I just solved your little crime with the Nipsey Hussle. That's what happened. And you clearly see it. And they're letting Diddy out, you know. And then 50, she betrayed Nipsey.
That whole I'm sorry, that whole what is the documentary?
Man,
it's so suspect. It is the funniest thing. They had a comedian, Josh Johnson, and he had me cracking up. He's like, how is it that this man is being filmed, but they have the police over here and they got the police on camera? You just know it was all like, they were all in on it, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all a stage.
There you go.
Movie.
It's all a big stage. It's all actors. Donald Trump is an actor.
Yep.
Your presidents have been actors. Everything. So, and then saying they're all friends, all scripted, all part of the temple of Hollywood. And what is Hollywood? It's fake. It's an illusion. We learn about a lot of the rappers who claim to be notorious gangbangers and thugs were never that, which we think about it, we will hope not. But the fact that the music of Black people is about murder, death, killing each other, that's satanic. That's what it is. It's death. It's poverty. And then in the middle, you already know who he was hanging with. So you see the great shout outs to Young Thug. And we know what Young Thug is about. So that's what Whack 100 was talking about when he said that he had text messages of a certain artist and whoop-de-whoop of Nipsey Hussle engaging in certain acts. I won't go any further out of respect and love, but Whack 100 brought it up, you know. So that picture in the middle was possibly why he had to fake his death and get Nipsey out of here, because if some type of scandal, whether it was true or false, of him participating in certain activities in Atlanta, and that came out, that would have ruined his whole brand. And that's a Puma deal. That's millions and millions of dollars for people for the rest of their lives. So the best thing I would say is they would be like, okay, we're going to fake your death. This dude, Big U's already trying to kill you. We're going to set him up and capture him doing wicked stuff. And it's two birds with one stone, and we're just going to get you out of here. And you can live on another landmass, or we'll change your face or whatever, but you got to get out of here. And your family will get the residuals. And there we are with that. And same thing with Fuck the Streets movement. These dudes talking about pedophiles and all this. All these dudes are part of these rings. These are your FBI, CIA, the wicked ones. These are your hip hop police. All these dudes, I'll just put it like this. You cannot rap about killing people, murdering people, selling drugs, and not thinking you're going to go to jail. They use rappers for the local niggas who are killing, murdering, selling drugs state to state. But when you start rapping about it and you go to a concert or you try to get famous, you're actually talking to an FBI agent and a police officer that you think is a record label executive, or you think's your favorite rapper. So you telling this nigga, yeah, I shot this nigga, I killed this nigga. Yeah, the other rappers, homies, his entourage are all fucking cops. So they're asking, oh man, where can I get the bricks, man? Oh man, get them to St. Louis, to Tennessee. Oh word, let's get 20. And so the rappers go state to state with their entourage and record label, and they bring everywhere you go. It's the rappers doing that shit. And that's the whole thing, is that the whole Hollywood of hip hop has been infiltrated the whole time. So that's one thing I learned. Even much love to T.I. Everyone remembers when T.I. got caught with all those guns, they let him out. He's all of a sudden come out, call snitching campaign. You think by doing comedy that you ain't gonna have to pay the piper, my nigga? You were rapping about selling dope, killing niggas, and made it sound beautiful. One of my favorite artists, but all of y'all who rapped about and got famous and rich off of being a devil, you're going to have to pay the piper. Yep. That's why you see all of these deaths and murders, or kids will get murdered. Something bad will happen.
Murder is the case that they gave me. Snoop Dogg. That's when he sold his soul or died or whatever he did. He even said that in an interview.
Yes.
They tell you in these interviews, they'll tell you exactly. Katy Perry, they tell you they sold their soul to the devil.
Yeah. Where's the picture?
And we over here, no, they didn't do it. Yeah. They're telling you exactly what they do.
Where is it? There she goes. She said, I sold my soul to the devil. Because how do these girls get famous? Christian rock we were talking about. Much love to all people. But you have to sell your soul to the devil to get famous by acting like a maniac or being a stripper. You have to sign a contract with the devil. You ain't signing it with the gods. But the God of Hollywood is the devil. So when you see the celebrities say, I want to thank God, and they're like, oh, they believe in God. Yeah, their God is the fucking blood sacrificing deity that most people have been colonized to worship. They forced our people to worship Yahweh, or the word God, or Jesus as your Lord and Savior. They murdered you. They murdered the Moors. And so they had to spill blood to get to this level. Our people are possessed. So you're talking about demons, devils, women and men who openly say that they sold their soul to an entity. So when you hear people say, oh, you can't sell your soul, those are people who aren't talented enough to get to that level. So when you hear people say, oh, nigga, let me hear you sing. Let me hear you rap real quick. Let me see how talented you really are. Let me judge you as a man. Let me see if you can pull some women. Let me see if men will follow you. If not, you're not that nigga, my guy. You're not going to get approached like us who are elite and they want on the team. So yeah, there's soul snatching. You talk about when you hear stories of people passing out and getting raped and stuff, they also can put you on a slab and snatch your soul by doing certain chants and raise your ka and your ba, your spirit out of your body, my nigga. And they can put another entity inside you. They do it underneath the record labels back in the day, homie.
So hence the reason it's not good to go get those surgeries done. It's not good to go get those surgeries done when you go under the knife and they put you under anesthesia because you don't know what they're doing.
Shang Tsung, the movie Mortal Kombat, Shang Tsung, that's a perfect example of how people can literally snatch your soul and give you another entity. Same thing when you're drunk or loaded. An entity is jumping inside of you because your blood is thin.
That's why you got spirits. You go to the liquor store, it tells you right there, you want spirits and wine. Spirits. You just go buy you a spirit. It's right in front of your face. My goodness.
So that's 2025 as we start winding it down of the show, the last few minutes. We see the sexy red, the Suki Anna. On the bottom left, you see her wearing the indigenous robes that you see of the Asiatic statues in throughout the world of the Cham dynasty. I wish I could I got a picture real quick for y'all. Man, so if the hairstyle she's wearing is basically those of like the Asiatics. If I can find one real quick.
You talking about the lady on the very bottom right corner?
Yeah. The Cham dynasty is basically ancient the Egyptians. And so when we go to Indonesia, Fiji, Tonga, Micronesia, all these different places, Vietnam, Cambodia, hence the word Cam. So that instead of Kham, they put Cham. So Cambodia, Kemet. So the original people of Cambodia and Angkor Wat are Mers and Moors. Hence why you see the Fez wherever you go in certain Asian cultures, because we are the originators of all cultures on the planet. And we have proof through the statues, but they use Hollywood and the church to put a spell over our people's minds to trap them in a world that they never would know unless someone gave you the Bible, or unless an adult who was colonized said, oh, believe in God or you're going to hell. So they instilled fear in our people because they had no knowledge. Our cities were burnt, our libraries were burnt, they were killing everyone. So the next generation of kids didn't have knowledge. So all they knew was what the colonizers were telling them. And you can imagine seeing grown men and women getting brutalized. That's how they converted us. It was through terror. It was through torture. And so that's where we are today, is that we never stopped. It was never a super stop, but what we saw in the civil rights movement was happening with Malcolm X, and then they circumvented that with Dr. King with integration. So once again, our own people are always being used to basically attack our own, to destroy ourselves. So as we start closing it as well, it all really started of this generation with Love and Hip Hop, Mona Scott. And I want people to do their research to find out if Mona Scott is from America. We know Nicki's not from America, and I'm seeing that a lot of these so-called black devils are attached to foreign black people. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have our best agenda. So we have to look at that as well. And then I was looking at Natalie Nunn. She was on the Cam Newton podcast acting like a fool. And then she admitted that Shaquille O'Neal bought her a car when she was in college. So now we know who put her on. And we know that Shaquille O'Neal, he's probably going to go down soon because he's been in lots of LA scandals with stuff with underage girls and all these sex parties dressed up as a woman, like Dwight Howard and these brothers, you know, because a lot of these NBA players are homosexuals as well. They come to Hollywood and they be at the freak offs too. And that's one thing that watching the Diddy documentary as we close up 2025, that should let you know that that's the entire industry. Everybody was it before this. Everybody pretty much in that industry knew. So it was going on. That was the thing. Love and Hip Hop, all the stuff that you see going on in Atlanta. But look what they're spreading on the Zeus network. Now they got Baddies Midwest, Baddies US, Baddies Africa. So now they're taking a satanic American culture to Africa so African women can start basically acting like white women. Out of balance. White women who have no sense of knowledge of self, because so-called white women of today are into crystals. They own the crystal shops. They're eating mushrooms. It's the white European so-called woman who actually is in control of the occult. She runs it all. She's the head witch. So your so-called white female friends practice magic. They use Jesus Christ as magic. Your white friends worship Jesus Christ as a white man, a pale-skinned European. That is magic. They don't believe in your God as a Yahshua and black God. They use Jesus Christ, a deity, even though it's fake. They can use that as a self-empowerment to rule over you. Because every day they look at that white Jesus, it reminds them of what their ancestors did for them to have the opportunity to rule over you. For them to live amongst the gods. So now they can live in the cities as a judge, an actor, a singer. They could never, Taylor Swift could never be a singer in our civilization. She's not talented enough. Eminem would never be a famous rapper in our civilization because he's not talented enough. It was because he was put to the forefront, and it was a spectacle because a pale-skinned European, a half monkey man could mimic the gods. That's why people go crazy when a so-called white person can play basketball or sing or dance. Why do you freak out when you see a white person mimic a black person or more? It's because deep down inside you know that we are a different species, that we come from a different creation, that they are descendants of what we call the Yeti, Bigfoot, the abominable snowman, the ape. And so that's why they will call us monkeys and apes. It's because they wanted to reverse our legacy and lineage as the netters coming with nature. We are the netters. We are part of nature. So Empress Ella Nu, start closing it out since you're getting tired. So, and then this is how, once again, as we start closing it out, this is how they took over the bloodlines, y'all. The rape of an indigenous woman, as you see close up. Look at his pants down. And you see the dark-skinned woman. And this is San Bernardino. And so that lets you know what the original Indians in San Bernardino are, San Bernardino, Colombia look like, excuse me. So go ahead, Lana, as we close it out. And then with Beyonce and Michelle Obama, look at that picture. The lesbians ruling over y'all. They've put lesbian women in charge as well. And then the bisexual black woman will be in charge. So in the future, the lesbian woman will be in charge. Second tier, the bisexual woman. And on the bottom, the heterosexual woman. Same thing with the men. You'll have the bisexual, you'll have the homosexual black men on top, the bisexual black men in the middle, and the hetero. And then here's the battle between this. Which top goddess are you going to look up to? The Michelle Obama, even though they say that's a question, I don't want to agree with that one. The sister graduated from Princeton, Harvard. Like she said, there's no stupid black person at an Ivy League school, but there are stupid white people. You know, she said there's stupid Caucasians, you know. So for me, this is a perfect symbology of us moving into 2025. We need more educated sisters. We need women who, regardless of people say she's a man, she represents education. She represents innovation. She represents character, strength, intelligence. And then Beyonce, that she had the title of almost the most beautiful woman on the planet. But was she corrupted by the black devil Jay-Z? Will they be getting a divorce in 2026? Because remember, Bey, B-E-Y, that's a Moorish name. So look out for Beyonce. I see a shift with that. But also them as celebrities are supposed to represent the entertainment royal family. Jay-Z and Beyonce, Sean Carter, they're the Hollywood royal couple versus Obama. But also remember, they said Beyonce was in the sex tape freak-offs. So that's another thing. Those sex tapes disappeared because it would have destroyed a lot of people's careers. And then as we start closing it out, Obama versus the bottom. So many times we look at so-called Caucasians as the Ivy League people, as the smartest people, but in all actuality, it's us. We are the builders of the Ivy League schools. We are the most intelligent, melanated people on the planet. So I felt that although I don't agree with the Obama whole thing, what I can look at now is what it represented outside of the matrix. It represented what we call Moorish love, black love. Two educated Moors or black people marrying each other and getting to the top. So we need that. We definitely need that as an example. Now, I know that they're part of the wickedness as well, but I had to throw that in there, that we don't see that. We don't see that great educated couple on TV. And so that's what we need to head into. You go ahead. And I had to ask you, what do you think when you see this picture as we close it out with the top black woman or Moorish woman marrying in to the Caucasian side or Slavic side of the family? Because clearly, once again, look at her mother. She's a Moor. So they know what they're doing. I guarantee you, her mother is tied in to the indigenous Moors and royal family of America. And they got her for a reason. So that to me represents what you were saying all along in the episode, is that this was the final programming for the world and for black women to see that you become mixed and then you marry into a white man and it's success. But really your soul gets snatched because now you can't go back to the ancestor realm. Once you have the babies with you can't go back.
Like I always say money's good, but what's your soul look like? I'll say that again. It's good that you have money, but what does your soul look like? Because you can't come here into the next realm with your soul not being cleansed. That's why I say it's important we heal. Because a lot of folks think, oh, well, I got money. That they don't care. That money is not going to get you where it's not going to get you there. They don't give a shit about that.
Yeah, you're not invited to the cookout if you do that.
No. You don't have the rubies and the gold and the real gems that are in that realm. You just have IOUs and a false identity of self. It's pretty deep.
Did you want to close it out with anything?
Other than what I just said, it's imperative to heal. This right here should show, and this presentation alone should help us all see that healing is imperative and healing starts with self. Always remember, you can't change anyone. You can only change yourself. That's all I got.
I know you got to run. I'm going to close it out for everyone. Okay. But you can stay as long as you want, but I understand if you go. So as I start closing it out, I wanted to even show Halle Berry, the most sexiest so-called black woman in Hollywood of her time, was getting ran through by Harvey Weinstein. It broke my heart in Monsters Ball when I saw that. So why is it that the most beautiful so-called black women in Hollywood have to degrade themselves? Whether it's a musician, an artist, or actress. So once again, even Whoopi Goldberg, Ted Danson was calling us niggers and dressing in blackface, and she was just laughing. you know, and I lost a lot of respect as a kid when I saw Whoopi do that. And Goldberg clearly isn't her last name, but I loved it when she played Queen Califia. But also Goldberg, it lets me know that she is part of the Hollywood, which we know, satanic church, because she had to take on the last name Goldberg to play in the game, even though we are the original Jews. We are the original Hebrews. We are those people. So remember the words Sephardic, Tawny, Zarthi, Caesarian or Sarsarian, Saracen. All those are other terms that were used to identify us as Murs and Moors before the word black. So right here, Holly Berry. And then we broke down Lauren London being used to take down Nipsey Hussle and get his money in the estate. And then the first movie she did, she's kissing the caveman, which was a ritual. Even though she said CGI, the world saw it, and he disrespected the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in the film. So right there, it let us know what that play was all about. Queen Latifah. What happened to Queen Latifah? Now she's parading at Disneyland with her wife. Much love. I have lesbian family members. Much love. But I still have to question what happened. We no longer have Queen Latifahs now. We have Sexy Red. We have Nicki Minaj, who now is sided with an open enemy of her people, canceling her possibly catalog in the essence of her real culture. But does she care? Because she's from the islands. And like they're saying, she's here illegal. So now was Nicki Minaj sent as a government agent because she went to LaGuardia High School. So boom, just like Shine. Hold on a second. Now we got to start thinking, Shine, government agent. He's working in politics. So once again, so Queen Latifah, they got her. I remember how heartbroken my parents were and everyone when I was a kid, when Set It Off came. And the adults were saying, man, they said she was, much love. They were like, man, they said she was gay, but she played that role too well. She is. And she eventually came out, which is fine. That's her prerogative. But what it did is it cut off the example of young black girls rocking the so-called Moorish fez, the African Queen fez, or the crown. Imagine if we had a balance of that. Of female rappers running around here with crowns on her head and their heads. Imagine the legacies, imagine the businesses, imagine the institutions that would be open. Imagine this right now. We would be in a different place if Queen Latifah kept that crown on. But she pressed her hair and came open and sold her soul to what we would call the devils. Because now she no longer teaches unity. She teaches the Hollywood system. They got her. And now you're going to see the fall of Tyler Perry, you know, another devil in our community. And who applauded Tyler Perry? It was black women, and particularly Christian black women, single Christian black women. And then it spread. So I noticed as a teacher, my black male students, after Tyler Perry hit that summer, how many of my black male students came back dressing in dresses and homosexual and gay? Tyler Perry was a government agent sent to feminize and bring in transgenderism into the so-called black community. They used Tyler Perry to make it cool for black women. It was a test to see where black women were mentally, if they were going to accept it. They accepted the gangbanging. Now, are they going to accept the overflood of her sons being transgendered homosexuals, so eventually they don't marry women? Because that's what happens. We're not saying that there's anything wrong with being homosexual. I'm an ally with homosexuals if they're done wrong. I love all people who are righteous. We're talking about programming, just like over masculinity and the gangbanging and thugging. We're attacking that. We're attacking ignorance, but we're also attacking the fact that brothers such as myself could not make billions and millions of dollars in front of my father dressing up as a woman. I would not be able to do that physically with my grandfather and my father alive. It would not have been allowed. So you talk about Tyler Perry, you go to his background, he talks about he was raped. He talks about he was raised by a woman, which we see today in the Black community. Men raised by women who are overly feminine but try to be masculine, so they hide their femininity being masculine by killing, murdering, and really what it is to hide the fact that their mother raised a gay man. And that's why you see a lot of those brothers going in and out of prison, and you see Hollywood filled with Tyler Perrys, because it's been going on the whole time. Tyler Perry was just the last signal of showing you what's been going on behind closed doors of your favorite celebrities at the Hollywood parties, dressing up as women, getting boinked by each other, and all that for favorite roles by pale-skinned European men. So Tyler Perry was getting bucked in the behind as a buck to get that position, and he would do it to other men like, you have to let me fuck you, excuse my language, to get this role. And so you're going to see the fall of Tyler Perry, and once you see his true nature, now you know that all of his movies are satanic. They're devilish, and it's mind control, mind altering scripts, mind altering spellings and words that he wrote into the scripts to alter the minds, to get you to accept the debauchery that he was paid to do. And still to this day, I saw the feminine dudes from that show where they talk about money all the time, No Legacy or For Leisure or whatever it's called. And they were trying to give an excuse for Tyler Perry. Talking about, oh, money. These dudes must come from poverty, or they're homosexuals just like Tyler Perry. They're in the closet. So those dudes are No Leisure. Those dudes are homosexuals, man. They're bisexuals. They're feminine. And so they probably rock with Tyler Perry. He probably helps fund them. And so I never was a fan of Tyler Perry. It was a lot of the men, but it was once again Black women, Black Christian women. Once again, the downfall of the Moors are the Christians. So that's really what we're going to have to separate from, pretty much, is going to be the Black Christians, because those are the ones who are westernized. Those are the ones who want to be Caucasians. They want to be Slavics. Look at Nikki. She's the one bringing in the weaves again. Tyler Perry wants to dress up just like them. But also remember that in ancient times, clearly there were brothers doing that. So let's not ignore that. That's been going on in ancient times. Brothers, imagine armies of a bunch of homosexual Black men. It happened. Let's not ignore it. So that's been going on. So Hollywood is what they would call the temple of Set, but Set was reversed to be bad. It's really Saturn. And then when it gets to basically your lower desires. So as we would create North and Lower Egypt, we would set up cities based off of your lower chakras and higher chakras, so you could learn to balance them, to see how strong-willed you are, so you wouldn't get lost just in the spiritual city or not getting lost in the debauchery city. Being able to go to both cities and balance yourself. That's how I see it. So there you go. Today's episode of the wicked Hollywood witch versus the divine feminine. We see Prince Charles or Harry, or the Slavic slave who's been put into power, who will be soon leaving office, as us as Murs and Moors and the Williams family and the Moores family rise into power. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry cheer on Serena Williams before Kris Jenner's 70th bash. So once again, they all hang out, and it's us who will decide who are the nobles in the true royal family. We mustn't allow Hollywood to dictate our reality. These are the wicked ones, and they come in all shapes and sizes. Once again, it doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, heterosexual, or any of that. It's about the content of your character. That's really what it is about. And even if you're mixed, I know some people might be like, Jason, I'm mixed. Well, I'm mixed too. We're all mixed up. But we're saying what they're doing with the purposeful of promoting so-called black women procreating with so-called white men. So what it is this you're weakening your genes, and it stops you from going to the higher realm because you can't return to your ancestors. Just like when you invite them to the cookout, and sometimes your family members will be like, yo, unless they're cool. But a lot of the times your white friends don't invite you to their cookouts. Why? Because you know the majority of the times you've been invited to your white friend's cookout, there always was a racist relative. It happens. But we're the loving people. We accept everyone else, but they don't accept us. And so it's a war. It's a war, y'all. It's a war on us as so-called Moors and Moors, and particularly those who they call black men. Heterosexual, strong, intelligent black men who worship women. They want to wipe us out because once we're gone, whether she knows it or not, there's no line of defense for the so-called Moorish women. The black woman now is being attacked at all angles because there's not a conglomerate of us as intelligent, strong Moors and Moors and black men who have our nations built up, our own cities, our own lands at a high capacity, like when you go to Dubai and these other new countries and stuff like that. So yeah, we're losing our people. And that's why you're going to see that it's only going to be a few of us who are going to be elected and selected as the new elite. And that's what we're witnessing. Those of us who are going to be chosen and are chosen already by birthright, we just have to prove ourselves against some of our family members who might be your favorite celebrities, who are just hide their hidden hand and practice Christianity. So that's where their wealth lies. If they were to talk about the things I talk about, they'll get in trouble and lose their wealth. So we're doing it the righteous way on this side of the family. And so there you go. 2025, headed to 2026. Be aware of the matrix. Be aware of the simulation and the clones. They're all around you. Once again, I am Dr. Jason E. Williams. You're tuned into What is the Matrix TV. And I'm going to end it with what we have going on at the virtual reality. So if you need virtual reality headsets, if you want to learn more about the Matrix University, we have a real virtual reality campus K through 12, higher learning, where you can learn any subject at the highest level in VR. And also imagine us in VR chat, where we can talk like this in VR chat and travel throughout the world together. All right, y'all. I'm Jason. Peace.
Moses 369, the Matrix Universe. Peace and love. Welcome to the Matrix University. We got one of the greatest artists in VR chat right now, brother MC Moses 369. Let them know about yourself.
What's going on, Dr. Jason? You know what time it is, man. Hey, I'm MC Moses 369, the biggest truth to do it. Real conscious artist of the metaverse, man. Hey, the first of its kind. Y'all come in, we in the Matrix University.
Yeah, you know take them through. I'm gonna follow you, man. Let's take them to the temple. You know.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
So let them know what's going on in the VR chat world, man. Let them know how this is the new Facebook, Instagram, and how, you know, it's important to be up in here with this new frontier technology.
Yeah, man, it's the beginning of it. The technology is very expansion. It's growing every day, you know what I'm saying? And it's only getting better and bigger by the day, you know what I mean? It's kind of small right now, but it's early on. And the people that's getting into it right now are at the beginning of the frontier. So it's an amazing place to be, bro, for networking and connections, bro. And just to expand your artistry and creation in general, man. You can make money here. All type of events are able to be hosted, bro. You know, it's an amazing place for everything, bro.
Yes, sir. Families all over the world on 360-degree field trips. So the goal, once again, is to get sponsors, donations, and investors so we as well can host our own trips in 360-degree videos around the world. So this is an example of our friend and host Steve Grubbs, which is actually the owner of the company that I have collaborated with the Matrix University. So once again, this is our global field trip module to where we can take students and families all around the world instead of spending thousands of dollars, airport security, and passports. Once again, gamification of education. We're making education cool and fun again and giving access to education for all. So here we go.
We've made it to the Temple of Karnak. Now again, Karnak is in Luxor. Luxor is fairly far south of Cairo. So if you look at this map, you can see right up at the top is Cairo and Giza, and that's where all the big pyramids that are so famous are. But if you follow the Nile River purposes, one was it was a messaging tower to the gods to give the prayers
the obelisk
to the gods and then to receive messages from the gods.
And so this is technology, y'all.
It was also a decorative piece for
a communication device.
Obviously, we know that in Washington D.C., the Washington Monument is an obelisk, and there is a replica of this obelisk in Central Park in New York, which was a gift from Alexandria, not Egypt, to New York City. And so it went from here to Alexandria. So these obelisks have a long history in civilization and antiquities. And that's just a couple things to know about the obelisk of Karnak.
Why do you think their faces are knocked off, y'all? So
now in an area that
I can speak it to the ears. Will anybody hear my music? Is anybody out there? Mom and pops is tripping. They like, you need to move out. The belief is too much. Well, I'm like, what, mom? I went to Africa. The American dream. A lot harder than it seems. Brothers banging the blocks. Sisters punching the clocks. Children's raising themselves. So they raising up hell. Who is created equal? God. I do it for my people. Tell me, who is God? Cause in my mind, it's all of y'all. I can speak it to the ears. Will anybody hear my music? Is anybody out there? Mom and pops is tripping. They like, you need to move out. The belief is too much. Well, I'm like, fuck, mom. I went to Africa. Travel the planet.
Welcome to the world-famous King Tut Museum. Be sure to respect the ancient relics. The ancient Egyptians were a magical people who built numerous beautiful, magnificent structures, like the world-famous pyramids and temples. No running inside. Scientists till this very day still do not know how the Egyptians built the pyramids.
I wonder, did aliens ever visit ancient Egypt? Wow, look! Look at that giant Egyptian statue. It looks just like you, Jason.
Thanks, Toby. You're a super cool friend. Imagine what the world would look like if I was the pharaoh.
Jason, you are daydreaming. Wake up.
Sorry. History got away from me.